Good morning and welcome to DCT Quantum. Today is day 21, and I'm streaming this at a time that I don't usually stream this, and it's just in the moment. Um, and what I'm hearing very loudly and clearly is that we're going to lose our TikTok matrix connection to chronological time. I have no idea beyond what is coming through live streaming right now, what that means, except I'm going to just share what's coming through. So, part of the timelines that are coming on right now, the shifts are opening up and making more fluid chronological time. So, for the last at least 12,000 years, humans have been locked into a very rigid set of calendars, no matter what civilization, what indigenous group you belong to. Everything is cyclical. It's either to do with the seasons, to do with the stars, to do with the planets, to do with the zodiac. That's one system, the natural system of time. The sun rises, the sun goes down, and so on and so forth. But in terms of agricultural societies, even warrior societies, keeping time was important. They marked time. So time has been a slave master for us. And we're moving beyond time. We're moving beyond linear time. So do not be surprised over the next specifically 7 years that any appointment that you ever make or try to keep may just turn fluid, and you're going to very quickly, which is how indigenous societies work, understand that when you're meant to meet, you will meet. It'll either be by happenstance or it'll just be delayed or earlier. It's how it's going to work. So that was the first thing I wanted to share, really, about timelines becoming more fluid, everything, even your reality, even your sense of reality. You're going to start seeing a lot more Mandela effect. So you wake up, something is slightly different. You can't explain how you can't explain why but it's going to be slightly different. That's because everything, if you imagine a fixed, rigid matrix controlled by space time, gravity, and an artificial matrix, it's very rigid. But because of what's happening to us right now with the light codes coming in and this huge quantum leap in our own evolution, our frequencies, our resonance is becoming more harmonic. We are remembering what we forgot to remember. We are awakening to ourselves and to our own lives and destinies. All of this information is encoded in us. It doesn't stream down, it's activated. Just like a seed is germinated in the ground, it's an electrical experience, it's activated. Just like a human ovum is activated at the moment of conception and there's a blast of light. That's what the light codes are doing. They're activating us. And at the same time, they're making everything fluid, rippling, moving, not solid. And that's going to affect pretty much everything in our lives. It's going to affect all the things that we have relied upon. They're all going to start to feel very fluid. And having an ability to flow, literally to flow with the now moment, is going to keep you sane and grounded. But today I wanted to have just a little bit of a talk about spin. We started talking about spin the other day, and I think it's really, really important that we understand our biotechnology so that we can use it more effectively and become a part of it, integrated into it, instead of seeing it as separate. This is, of course, natural biology. We're not suggesting in any way, shape, or form that we are artificial. We're completely organic, carbon based life forms. That's the human blueprint, but contained within it is a very sophisticated blueprint technology, and that involves spin. Everything in the universe spins. So there are little spins, there are big spins, but everything ultimately spins. If it doesn't, it atrophies and it stands still, and it slows down and it cools down, and that's the death of a universe. You don't want a death of a universe. It's irreversible. So instead, how it's constructed, the simulation that we're living in, the organic one, not the artificial one, although it does copy it, is at the center of the known multiverse, is what you would consider a black hole. But really, it's just a 0 point. And you have an orbit going on here, it goes through, it resets, so it reactivates, and it goes out the other side, and it loops again, but it loops over such vast periods of time. Nobody besides perhaps Source Creator would be aware of it. And it individuates as it spins and as it turns. I've explained this before in a class that I did called Space Time. If you remember, it's the origami spiral. So everything spins, you spin. If you don't spin, you're not alive. So what we do in DCT is really, really simple. The first step is we spin with the planet. We want to have the most stable velocity and trajectory. Without that, nothing else can spin in coherence. The second step is we spin again through breath, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. But we're doing it consciously. And when you do something consciously, especially with breath, you are activating what is called the light body. Now, the light body is the infrastructure of the spin mechanism. So I've explained this before, but imagine like a spinning top where there are wheels within wheels. So step one, the wheel goes this way. Step two, activate the light body. It goes that way. So imagine you've already got two orbits spinning. And then we add to that the spin of the electromagnetic field, which is a toroidal spin, which is like that. In the middle, it goes thin, and then it goes back out. So imagine two cones, one on top of the other, nested and kissing in the middle bit, right? Two cones, opposite ends. That's what's happening there. That's another spin. You can see it as a figure of 8 as well. It might be easier to visualize. What comes after that? Well, it's the on-powered I am activation. That actually activates the heart centrifugal centripetal system. What is that? That's the vortex. That's the thing that pulls in terms of anti-gravitational. It pulls in all the other spins into an orbit, like an atom in the middle of its orbits, like the sun in the middle of all of its orbits, planetary orbits. I hope this is making sense. So that I am activation, while it's at number 4, collapses space-time so that all of those steps become one spin. They spin so fast that all you would see if you x-rayed yourself spiritually in the moment of DCT would be a sphere. That is what you look like if you were spiritually x-rayed. Now, the last bit is once we have established our own velocity, it's really, really important that we do this first. Everybody's spin is unique to them, and your spin creates the melody, which is your tune, which is as unique to you as your blueprint fingerprint. So spinning correctly is you singing your best song. When we're at that point, and only then, do we join through the power of 9, which is a collective ring that holds the space with us. Do we then entangle and join one another? Otherwise, if you can imagine a lot of instruments just clanging around and banging into each other. First, each instrument has to be tuned and it has to be playing its unique note. And then simultaneously, the orchestra is brought on to the stage for the performance. We don't sing incoherently. And who are we singing to? We're singing to each other. This is how we communicate. We use the language of frequency. So that's why DCT is so important. It may seem like a rudimentary 5-step mindful activation, but it's so much more than that. You are literally learning how to play and fine-tune your biotechnology. And my only job is to make myself obsolete, to make myself redundant, so that you can do this over and over and over for the rest of your life for yourself and teach others. And if we can all come into coherence, and if we can all meet for DCT in coherence globally, then I can promise you right now all war would stop. Because war cannot exist within a field of coherence. So what we're doing is really important. And if you have a friend right now, or friends, or family that could use this, introduce them. The more we share, the more coherence there will be in this world, and the quicker you will see that world that you hold so firmly in your heart visualize and become made manifest. DCT is cymatics. It's about manifestation, and we do it one wave form at a time. You are in stillness. Let us do the 5 steps together. And today, we're going to step into 0 point. We're going to close our eyes. There will be minimal props. And all I ask you to visualize as you do these steps is to see the spinning wheels, one after another, until you see in your mind's eye the vision of who you are at a spiritual, metaphysical level. Step number 1. We ground to the earth. If you will permit this, I will share what is being shown to me because I think it's important. Imagine the Earth's core black, solid, and round. But imagine around it a ring of light, almost like a hula hoop. And it's doing this. And it's perfectly balanced. Perfect. There is no wobble. It is moving in a stable orbit. And it's moving quite fast. Now, I want you to imagine a ring of light around you, like a hula hoop. I want you to imagine standing on the Earth's core, in the middle of that ring of light, and I want you to see your ring Step number 1, your ring, beginning to speed up. And what you notice is that the Earth's ring is calibrating your ring until eventually your ring spins exactly the same way as the Earth's core ring. Now wait for that synchronization. And when that happens, you can let go of the Earth's core in your mind's eye. This orbit feels very elemental, almost like a potter's wheel, the smell of clay. This spinning wheel around you is your base spinning wheel. It's the one that connects you to the Earth. This is just another way to activate it using step 1. So once it becomes stable, you can let go of it because it's going to keep going by itself. And you can move into step 2. And that is to use breath, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, however you want. But as you do so, you're going to see another ring start to move. And it's going to move around the chest area. And it's going to intersect the other orbit. So imagine a wheel within another wheel, spinning like this, okay? So see this happening in your mind's eye. See it happening. Really easy with the breath. As that second spin happens, you're just going to feel lighter with the breath, every breath that you take, and that's going to continue on for you. That doesn't stop when you step into step number 3, which is we're now going to activate the toroidal spin, which is this, right? Goes down into a point like an egg timer, and then it comes out like that. So imagine a spiral, point, spiral. Okay, so now bring that one on as well. Step number 3, toroidal spin. That spin, by the way, is going to go out really far in all directions. And I'll post a picture of what this looks like visually in the feed later on. But it spins, and as it spins, it just goes out in all directions, clearing and priming your field. If this reminds you of a whirling dervish, this is the same technique, except you're activating all of your energy centers. You may feel a lot of energy as you connect consciously to the spin. Just let it spin, let it build. So let the toroidal spin continue to spin. In the coming days, I will break this down step by step in more detail. Step number 4, we're now going to activate the heart, which is a centrifugal vortex. What that means is it spins in 2 directions, opposite. And it is an anti-gravitational device. It's an interdimensional technology. So put your hands against your heart, press in, make that physical connection. We're going to open up the technology. This is just a technical way to view it today. We're going to see that centrifugal, centripetal. So imagine 2 spins going in opposite directions. 2 spins going in opposite directions as one circle. Now see that in your chest, heart area. And as we open up, there's going to be a brilliant light that comes from this centrifugal system in the heart. And that is the Om-powered I Am. And what we're going to do is we're going to hold some stillness and go into that light, become one with it, surrender at the 0 point, becoming one with the light. And then we're going to waveform that light out through our primed electromagnetic field. So let's go into stillness now. You are more powerful than the sun. You are more powerful than 1,000 suns. Harness that power now. We implode to explode. This is cosmic light, and it is unlimited. So expand your light out in all directions, through all the spinning, 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 until it becomes a golden spinning sphere. Feel and see your own spin. Connect to a spinning wheel that's in your third eye, in your enlightened mind. Connect through the power of 9, through the enlightened mind. Connect to the cosmos, to the light of illumination. Bring that in, that light, like a laser beam, down, activating into the heart, generating a waveform called coherence. Now, coherence is not just a carrier wave. It is a wave of manifestation, and it's cohesive, which means that you can hold your center and you can spin without being pulled around by this world. It's like your nuclear center. So feel that wave, that's yours. You can add anything you want here. See it as a ripple on a lake, or simply trust that everything that is meant to occur for your highest good occurs. And once that ripple, that single pristine ripple in the stillness of the quantum field reaches your fingertips, you let go. Just let go. Thank you. I am truly blessed. I bless my world and everyone in it. And so it is. If you want to stay in this space, just stay. If you have the time, just stay. Stay in your stillness. Stay in the coherence.